Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good evening. Good evening all.
Good evening all.
Yeah. As I have some kind of technical, it's going to rain heavily. So as I have difficulty in connection, okay, not an issue. We'll be talking about. I will definitely continue our class. Okay, I need response from you guys. Yeah. We'll go to the class, and I feel like some of the students are asking to give me some specific examples for JL English or DL English like, and in future I will give you, but present our focus is only on how to qualify set or net examination, not with regard to, but the process of qualifying JL or DL examination which subsumes and our discussion. It's not at all a very big issue, my friends. And once you listen to examination oriented view, not a problem at all. Just carry on listening to the class regularly and try to subscribe. Those who have been watching our channel without subscription, do subscribe and make your comments like it, and make comments as you listen to the classes, because that is going to be a kind of boost for us during the beginning. So I request all the people who've been watching the lecture, try to like it and subscribe and try to share our channel to your friends and your colleagues. Okay, and we'll continue the class. We'll go into the class. Okay. Yeah, we'll start the class. See, as a part of, we have started a topic called prosody. As a part of prosody, as I told you, a systematic word study of versification, which is called prosody. Yes, and this study of prosody, which includes four major areas, my friends. Yesterday, we discussed one major important concept, that is meter, and various terms that are related to meter. I need responses from you, okay? And I'll be asking you some questions. You need to type the answer immediately. Strong phrasal pause in reading of a verse line is called. Strong phrasal pause in reading of a verse line is called. Yes, I need answer from you guys. Immediate answer. Strong phrasal pause in reading a poem is called. Yes, what do we? Yes, I need response from you guys. Sejura, wonderful, and Gudu or SK, wonderful response, wonderful. If a words line ends with a stressed syllable, it is called. If a words line ends with a stressed syllable, it is called? Masculine or feminine? I need answer. Quick answer from you before we start the class. Wonderful, masculine ending. Wonderful, Srinivas. Next, and once you see, what is the commonest food used in English poetry? What is the commonest food used in English poetry? Several times this bit was repeated. What is the commonest food repeated in English, used in English poetry? Iambic, wonderful, Tina Priya madam, wonderful response. Sonnets and epics, mock epics are composed by using dash foot in English literature. Sonnets, epics, mock epics are composed in dash foot. Yes, I need response. I am wonderful, and Kiranmay madam. Next, you see in English versification in English prosody, we use dash meter, quantitative, syllabic, accentual, binary. Yes, what is your response? In English versification, we commonly use dash meter. Dash meter. Yes. Wonderful binary. Wonderful, my friends. Wonderful. Yes. And what is the other name for binary? What is the other name for binary? Accentual syllabic meter. Yes, wonderful. So these are the some simple concepts that we discussed in our previous class. Today we are going to talk about wonderful lesson, my friends. See, today also we are going to talk about a very wonderful issue and how you will get bits based on, and what is the topic that we are going to talk about? Stanza and forms, my friends. How you will get bits based on stanza. And let me give you a few examples how you will get bits based on stanza forms in the examinations like NET set. For example, a Spenserian stanza has. Who introduced Spenserian stanza? Or Adenois, which is composed by P. B. Shelley, is and composed in dash style Spenserian stanza. Like that you will get. What does it mean by Alexandrine? And what is sestina? What is heroic stanza? And what is rhyme royal? What is the other name of rhyme royal? What is Chazurian stanza? Or else, what is quatrain? What is couplet? Who introduced couplet into English literature? Like you will get bit. Geoffrey Chaucer introduced decasyllabic couplet in dash poem and the Canterbury Tales. Apart from Canterbury Tales, Geoffrey Chaucer employed decasyllabic couplet in dash poem, Legend of Good Woman. Who popularized decasyllabic and octasyllabic and heroic couplet into English literature? Like that you will get. All the poems composed by the Rape of the Lock composed by and Alexander Pope is actually composed in octasyllabic couplet, closed couplet, open couplets, and heroic couplets. Like that you will get bits, my friends. What is heroic couplet? What is decasyllabic couplet? What is blank words? What is free words? For example, there was a bit. The waistline composed by T.S. Eliot is actually composed in dash blank words or heroic form, heroic stanza, or free words. Free words. What is the other name for free words? Where did the writers bring the concept of free words into English literature? Like that you will have plenty of bits, my friends. What is Alexandrine? What is iambic pentameter line, iambic hexameter line? Like that you will have under Dante and composed Divine Comedy in dash. Like that you will get. What is terza rhyme? What is triplet? What is quatrain? What is sestet? What is quintain? Okay, and you will have plenty of bits based on these aspects. If you get at least one bit, it's enough, my friends. It will change your fate of qualifying NET examination. That's what I'm going to talk about. See, a Spenserian stanza has 4 iambic pentameters. Wrong. 6 iambic pentameters. Next, 8 iambic pentameters, 10 iambic pentameters. Very, very important bit, my friends. Spenserian stanza, it is composed in 9 lines. 9 lines. Out of which, first 8 lines are iambic pentameter lines, and the last line, iambic hexameter line. That is called Alexandrine. You need to know small definition. Several times this bit was asked, my friends. Remember. Next, you can see the rhyme scheme of a Shakespearean sonnet is. What is the rhyme scheme of Shakespearean sonnet? A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, G G. What is the rhyme scheme of Italian sonnet? Abba Abba, C D C, C D C. Or Abba Abba, CDE, CDE. What is the rhyme scheme of Spenserian sonnet? AB AB, BC BC, CD CD, EE. So how you are going to get bits based on that like this? The first two lines of a poem can be called couplet. Two lines, a stanza of two lines is called couplet. Metonymy, couplet, playfulness equals couplet. Couplet refers to a stanza that is composed in two lines. Simple bits, my friends. You can see blank words was first introduced into English literature by who introduced, and free words. Who introduced blank words? Like that you will get. What is blank words? We'll talk. What is free words? You need to know. Who introduced blank words into English literature? Sir Thomas Watt. Sir Thomas Watt introduced blank words and terza rhyme and sonnet, and you can also say octava rhyme. These are the four major important poetic techniques first coined, introduced into English literature by Sir Thomas Watt. You need to know. Next, the heroic couplet was first used by Geoffrey Chaucer in. What does it mean by heroic couplet? See, my friends, these appear very simple, but and in the examination like NET, SET, JL, examination, 1 bit for 2 marks. And if you miss 2 bits, and that 2 bits will change your fate, my friends, in this competitive world. So, what I'm trying to say, how you are going to get bits based on the stanza forms. And this was used by and Geoffrey Chaucer in Canterbury Tales. Canterbury Tales and Legend of Good Women, 2 poems. Next, see the metric foot employed by Robert Frost in his poem Stopping by. Sometimes they will also give you, and if you are required to read specific poems as part of your syllabus, and they will give you what is the rhyme scheme of stopping by woods on a snowy evening. You need to know. In hours of idleness, Lord Byron and employed, and here he employed iambic tetrameter lines. And here, hours of idleness, Lord Byron employed tetrasyllabic couplets, pentasyllabic couplets, hexasyllabic couplets, octosyllabic couplets. So what is octosyllabic couplet? You need to know. Next, the grave is fine. The grave is fine in private place, but none, I think, do the embrace. Popular line, and this line is composed. It's an example for and octosyllabic couplet. So how can you say octosyllabic couplet? You need to divide this like this. The grave is fine and private place. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 8 syllables. Next you can say, but none, I think, do the embrace. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 syllables in 2 lines, octosyllabic couplet. Like that you need to know. Next you can say, yes, next now we will be talking about, this is what I'm trying to say, how you are going to get bits based on this. But you will have plenty of bits, my friends. I will tell you a lot with regard to this. Okay. Yeah, I think you've been talking about in a proper way. Yes. See, what is stanza? What is stanza? What are the forms of stanza? See, first, stanza refers to grouping of words lines. You group few words lines together. That is called stanza. Stanza refers to, it's an Italian word, means stopping place. Sometimes you need to know the word stanza is dash word Italian. Sonnet is dash word Italian. The word pun is dash word and Italian. Several times these were asked in the history of UGC NET and SET JLDL examinations. You need to know. Next. And it's a grouping of words lines. What is stanza? Stanza refers to, it's a group of words lines, can be 2, can be 3, can be 4, can be 5, like that. Next, usually the stanzas of a given poem are marked by a recurrent pattern of rhyme scheme. They will have a particular rhyme scheme. If the stanza has 2 lines and it has particular rhyme scheme, 3 it has particular rhyme scheme, 4 it has particular rhyme scheme. Next, these are also uniform in number and uniform in length, which means, for example, and once you observe any sonnet composed by TSE and composed by William Shakespeare, every sonnet includes 10 syllables. 10 syllables. And without that, he did not Write any poem without 10 syllables, which means every stanza is uniform in number. How many syllables are to be used? How many syllables? For example, if you take any stanza, any sonnet composed by Shakespeare, every sonnet includes 140 syllables, not more than one exceeding or one decreasing. Nothing, you don't get that. Exactly 140 syllables. But how were they able to write that? That was a technique of those writers. So every stanza is uniform in number, uniform in length. Next, this is not required. Next, what are the various forms of stanza? Stanzas. First stanza that we are talking about is couplet. What is couplet? Couplet refers to a stanza, and a couplet is a pair of rhymed lines. It refers to a pair of rhymed lines. Simply, couplet refers to stanza that is composed in two lines. How many? Just two lines. Two lines of stanza. It's a pair of rhymed lines that are equal in length. Every line includes either 8 syllables, 8 syllables. If the two lines, if every line has 8 syllables, it is called octosyllabic couplet. And if it has 10 syllables, it is called decasyllabic couplet. And if there is a variance in terms of number of syllables, it is called just couplet, not octa or deca. Next, the popularly couplet can be classified in two categories: octasyllabic couplet, decasyllabic couplet. Broadly. So what is octasyllabic couplet? Octasyllabic couplet refers to a couplet that has lines of 8 syllables. How many syllables? 8. Octa means 8. So every line includes 8 syllables. Every line includes 8 syllables. This is called octasyllabic couplet. This was popularly used by some of the metaphysical poets. Metaphysical poets, as I told you, John Donne, Andrew Marvell, Abraham Cowley, John Cleveland, George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, or Richard Crasher, or Thomas Traherne. Like, those are the poets who used octasyllabic couplets in their poetry. The best example is "The grave is fine and private place, but none I think do they embrace." Best example. Once you observe that is octasyllabic couplet. Next, decasyllabic couplet. Deca means 10, and decasyllabic couplet is different from heroic couplet. Remember. So decasyllabic couplet refers to iambic pentameter lines rhyming in pairs are called and decasyllabic couplet, which means these couplets include every verse line in and is composed in 10 syllables. 10 syllables. That is called decasyllabic couplet. And what is heroic? Which means heroic, the moment you think about heroic, you need to give priority for iamb. We commonly use only iambic foot. No trochee, no dactylic, no spondic, no pyric. Only iamb. What is iamb? Refers to a foot in which unstressed syllable is followed by stressed. Very important. Okay, next, this heroic couplet, not a deca, heroic couplet. Decasyllabic couplet can be, the poet can use iambic pentameters or anapaestic or dactylic or can be anything. But whereas heroic, the poet always uses iambic pentameter lines. But there will be no rhyme scheme. That is a speciality. Next, this is first introduced into English literature by Geoffrey Chaucer, and two poems, The Canterbury Tales and Legend of Good Women. How many poems are composed by Geoffrey Chaucer? You need to remember a code. How many poems are composed by Geoffrey Chaucer? And see, remember my friends, English literature is a subject which requires a lot of numbers, dates, figures. To have wonderful knowledge of English literature, you need to have a lot of codes. I did a video previously how I qualified to JRFs. Watch that. It will give you a lot of stuff, my friends. Watch that video because that talks about all my experience as a teacher and trainer of English literature. Very wonderful video where I shared all my techniques into that. So RBPTHLC, what is, and this is the code that I kept in my mind to remember the works of Geoffrey Chaucer: Roman de la Rose, Book of Duchess, Parliament of Fowls, and Troilus and Cressida, and House of Fame, Legend of Good Women, and Canterbury Tales. Simply, Geoffrey Chaucer or BPTHLC. That's it. And you will remember, if there is a bit, which of the following poem is not composed by Geoffrey Chaucer, you need to remember this code like that. So, Decasyllabic couplets. Heroic couplets was first introduced into English literature by Geoffrey Chaucer in two poems, one Canterbury Tales and two Legend of Good Women. Very, very important. Later, this heroic couplet was popularly employed. It became one of the major important parts of English sonnet, popularized by Shakespeare, Spenserian sonnet, Spenser, and all English writers, Renaissance writers. Later, it was given much introduction by John Dryden, and where he composed Make Fleck No in heroic couplets. Later, it was popularized by Alexander Pope in the popular book The Rape of the Lock, and composed in 1712 in 2 cantos and 14 5 cantos. A very, very important bit, my friends. They will ask, heroic couplet is not used in the following poem. You need to remember. And Canterbury Tales, Legend of Good Women, Macbeth No, Rape of the Lock, and the sonnets of Shakespeare, and Spenserian sonnet. Spenserian stanza is different, Spenserian sonnet is different, remember. So this is a little bit discussion with regard to couplet. Next, we'll be talking about another important topic is triplet or tercet. Tercet or triplet. What is tercet or triplet? Tercet refers to a stanza that is composed in 3 lines. Tercet refers to a stanza that is composed in 3 lines. Simply 3 lines, my friends. It refers to a stanza composed in 3 lines. The rhyme scheme can be A or A or ABB. Rhyme scheme can be anything or ABC. Next, it refers to a stanza of 3 lines, usually with a single rhyme scheme like this A. Next, the lines may be the same length written in tercets of iambic tetrameter, or else varying length can be. The poet can use iambic or can use trochea or dactylic or something else. So simply you can remember a stanza that is composed in 3 lines, tercet or triplet. Enough. Next, very important bit, my friends, with regard to UGC NET, DL, and state level kind of examination, SET, NET, JL, DL examination. This bit was asked several times, mainly the 2 examples. Several times these were repeated, my friends. What is terza rhyme? Terza rhyme. What is terza rhyme? Terza rhyme is composed of terzets. What is terzet? Stanza 3 lines, which means it refers to a stanza that is composed 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the poem goes on. It refers to a stanza in which the first tercet is connected, rhyme scheme of the first tercet is connected with the second, second with the third, third with the fourth. Like that, the poem goes on. So it refers to a process of connecting terzets in the process of composing a words, composing a poem, where the poet connects first tercet with the second, second with the third. The process of connecting tercet or triplet is called terza rhyme. Simple. So this is introduced into English literature by Sir Thomas Watt. Very important, my friends, a Renaissance writer. Sir Thomas Watt, who introduced terza rhyme into English literature, who popularly used P.B. Shelley in his poem Ode to the West Wind. Ode to the West Wind. Several times this bit featured in the history of UGC NET set examination, my friends. Very important. Next, Divine Comedy, composed by Dante, 14th century Italian poet. Okay, so these two are composed in terza rhyme. Remember, terza rhyme refers to a process of connecting terzets. Okay, terzets, which means you can see, for example, a rhyme scheme is connected. For example, the rhyme scheme can be ABA, and the second tercet will be BCB, and the third will be CDC. Like that, the poem, see, rhyme scheme of the first tercet is connected with the second, second with the third, third with the fourth, and goes on. This style of using writing poem, the process of connecting the rhyme scheme of the first with the second, second with the third, is called terza rhyme. Introduced by Sir Thomas Watt, implemented by 2 major important writers. Ode to the West Wind by P.B. Shelley, Divine Comedy by Dante. Dante is not an English poet. He was an Italian poet. You need to know. Next, we can see quatrain. 4th important stanza. So what is quatrain? Quatrain refers to a stanza that is composed in 4 lines. Composed in 4 lines stanza and is the most common in English versification. What is the most important commonest stanza used in English poetry? That is what? And quatrain. It is employed by various meters and rhyme scheme, which means it is used in iambic or trochee or dactylic or spondic or pyric or can be anything. Next, it can be classified like the ballad stanza or the heroic quatrain. And what is ballad stanza? It's a 4 and 3 foot lines rhyming A, B, C, D, A, B, C, B, or else frequently A, B, A, B. So which means you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, A, B. So, and rhyme scheme is connected. This kind of stanza is called the ballad stanza. And when this same stanza occurs in hymns, it is called common measure. Hymns, religious song. George Herbert, who composed more than 50 religious lyrics, 50 religious ballad stanzas, and he composed The Temple, a collection of religious lyrics, maybe during 1633, I think. And George Herbert, the most important religious poet during Renaissance, who composed a number of ballad stanzas, and these quatrains talk about religious themes, hence they are called hymns. Hymns are 4 lines religious songs. That's it. Next you can see heroic quatrain. Heroic, remember my friends, heroic stanza, heroic couplet, same thing. Iambic pentameter lines, no rhyme scheme, introduced by Sir Thomas Bat, remember. Okay, heroic quatrain. And in iambic pentameter rhyming ABAB. It is the stanza of grey. For example, you can take Elgin in the country churchyard. The best example for heroic quatrain. Not just Elgin in the country churchyard, all the quatrains employed by Shakespeare, employed by most of the English writers as part of sonnet, come under heroic quatrains. Shakespearean sonnet is composed in 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. All 3 quatrains are heroic quatrains because they are composed in iambic pentameter lines without, and sometimes it can be in rhyme scheme like that. They are considered to be heroic quatrains. Next, see my friends, and quintain. And this is also called rubai. This is also called rubai. A stanza of 5 lines. A stanza that is composed in 5 lines is called rubai or quintain. 5-line stanza. And the rhyme scheme can be ABABC or AABBC. Next, a 5-line stanza of any kind can be called quintain or quintet or cinquain. And why do we and who uses these types of stanzas? And these types of stanzas are usually used to offer songs for the sake of God, religious songs, regional gods, local gods. If you want to write some poems in praise, in terms of requests, and those songs are composed in the form of quintain or rubais. So a stanza of 5 lines is called quintain or rubai. Enough. And most of the times you will get bits based on sestet, rhyme royal, octava rhyme, Spenserian stanza. Remember. Okay, most of the times, very important things are couplet, terza rhyme, and sestet. Next, octava rhyme, rhyme royal, Spenserian stanza. These are very important when with regard to UGC NET examination. See, and sestet refers to a stanza that is composed in 6 lines. It refers to a stanza that is composed in 6-line stanza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was introduced by Francesco Petrarch. He was an Italian and poet and painter. Italian painter. Francesco Petrarch, who introduced Italian sonnet. Hence, Italian sonnet is also called Petrarchan sonnet. Petrarchan sonnet, based on the name of Petrarch. Next, and as a part of Italian sonnet, it provides a solution to the problem discussed in the first part of octava. For example, Italian sonnet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Italian sonnet is composed in two parts, octava, sestet. In octava, the poet talks about a problem. In sestet, a stanza of 8 lines octava, 6 lines sestet. In this, the poet talks about a solution to the problem that is discussed in octava. So he provides a solution. So what is the major purpose of these 6 lines? Sestet, to present a solution that is discussed in octava. That is what major idea behind sestet. Next, it is also a part of Miltonic sonnet, Wordsworthian sonnet. Okay, Miltonic, Wordsworthian sonnet both come under Petrarchan. Simple. A stanza of 6 lines, sestet. It can be rhymes. Rhyme scheme can be anything, and you can say A B C A B C like that. Next, it becomes an important part of Italian sonnet, which was introduced into Italian literature by Francesco Petrarch. Okay, next, this sestet is used in Italian sonnet to talk about a solution to the problem that is discussed in octava. Enough, not required. Next, my friends, sestina. Sestina. What is sestina? Sometimes it was asked, couple of times it was repeated. Hence, I am talking about. You can see, my friends, sestina refers to a stanza of six line stanzas, which means you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a process of connecting 6. So 6 line stanza, sestet, 6 sestets is called sestina. Simple. Next, you can see the lines of first stanza are repeated in a set of order of variation as the end of words of the stanza. The sestina concludes with a 3-line envoi which incorporates in the middle and the end of the lines all 6 of these end words. One of the most intricate of poetic forms is the sestina. Very difficult form to use this, and it was popularly used by Dylan Thomas in the poem Digging. Some of the modern poets employed this sestina. Forget about a process of connecting 6 sestets together is called sestina, which was popularly employed by Dylan Thomas in the poem Digging. Enough. And very important point is terza rhyme and triplet stanza. Remember, my friends, very important. Rhyme royal. Rhyme royal refers to a stanza that is composed in 7 lines. How many? 7 lines. And iambic pentameter stanza. What is the rhyme scheme? ABA, BB, CC. So 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ABA, BB, CC. So the rhyme scheme is going to be ABA, BB, CC. It was asked several times, my friends. It was introduced. It is also called triplet stanza. It is also called Chaucerian stanza. Next, you can see, my friends, it was introduced into English literature by Geoffrey Chaucer. In which poem? Triplet and Cressida. Hence, it is called triplet stanza. So, what is the other name of rhyme royal? Triplet stanza. Introduced by Chaucer, hence Chaucerian stanza. In triplet stanza, triplet and Cressida. Hence, it is called triplet stanza. It was popularized by Scottish Chaucerians. There were a group of poets who imitated the poetry and styles of Chaucer. Hence, they were called Scottish Chaucerians. Hence, they were from Scotland. Hence, they were called Scottish Chaucerians who followed the themes, styles of Chaucer. And these included King James I, Robert Henderson, William Dunbar, Gavin Douglas, Sir David Lindsay. 5 major important poets who imitated the works of Chaucer, who took Chaucer as the role model to write poetry, to follow certain styles. They are called Scottish Chaucerians, and the leader, King James I. He composed a poem, The King's Square, in 1423-24. And this poem is composed in rhyme royal. So, 2 examples. Rhyme royal was first employed in Triplet and Cressida. Next, The King's Square, composed by King James I. Later, it was also used by Shakespeare in 2 poems. in and two poems, A Lover's Complaint, Rape of the Lucrece. So how many long narrative poems? Shakespeare composed 38 plays, 154 sonnets and 5 long narrative poems. And you can, how to remember VRPL, you can have a quote. Very four major important long narrative poems that he composed. Venus and Adnois, Rape of the Lucrece, Passionate Pilgrim, Lover's Complaint. Popular, long, lengthy poems composed by Shakespeare. How can you remember those four long narrative poems? People say five long narrative poems, but it is only four. VRPL. Venus and Adnois, Rape of the Lucrece, not Rape of the Lock, Rape of the Lucrece, and Passionate Pilgrim, Lover's Complaint. That's it. And so, how many examples? Trials and Cressida, King Square, Lover's Complaint, Rape of the Lucrece. Best. Simply, you can see. Several times it was asked, what is the rhyme scheme of Trial stanza? It is also called Chaucerian stanza. Who introduced Geoffrey Chaucer? In which book? Trials and Cressida. Shakespeare employed Trial stanza in Lover's Complaint, Rape of the Lucrece. And who imitated a rhyme royal into poetry? Scottish Chaucerians. What is the best example? The King Square. What is the rhyme scheme? ABA, BBCC. Enough. Next, my friends, another important thing is octava rhyme. Octava, 8-line stanza. See, it is an Italian name, indicates 8 lines. It refers to a stanza that is composed in 8 lines. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lines. Next, like terza rhyme, the sonnet, it was brought from Italian into English by Sir Thomas Watt. Very, very important. Sir Thomas Watt introduced sonnet into English literature, terza rhyme into English literature, blank words into English literature, and octava rhyme into English literature. Remember, my friends, who brought these several times, these bits were asked. Very, very important. Remember. Octava rhyme was brought to English literature from Italian by Sir Thomas Watt. And it was popularly used by Lord Byron, the romantic poet, the satirist, the ironical poet, and who, the rival of Robert Southey, composed Don Juan in octava rhyme. This had a rhyme scheme AB, 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 CC. Very easy to remember. You can see AB, AB, AB. And the last one, CC. That's it. What is the rhyme scheme of octava rhyme? Octava stanza is different, octava rhyme is different, my friends. Okay, next. Another very important topic is Spenserian stanza. Spenserian stanza is different, Spenserian sonnet is different. Most of the students are confused whether Spenserian stanza and Spenserian sonnet are connected. No. Spenserian sonnet, 14 lines. Spenserian stanza, 9 lines. Remember, my friends. Both are introduced into English literature by Edmund Spenser, the popular poet from Renaissance. See, what is Spenserian stanza? What is Spenserian stanza? It refers to a stanza of 9 lines. How many lines? 9 lines. Say. And for example, let me write here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 lines. Next, in which the first 8 lines are iambic pentameter. What is iambic? What is penta? You know. If you ask me any question, I am not going to help you. And you need to watch the previous video. Iambic pentameter lines. And the last means the ninth line, not last line. The ninth line, this is a little bit longer. And so all the first 8 lines, iambic pentameter lines means every line includes 10 syllables. 10 syllables. But last line, iambic hexameter, which means 6 syllables and 12 syllables. So how many syllables are there in Spenserian stanza? 92 syllables. First 8, 80 and the last one 12, 92. So very, very important this definition. It refers to a stanza in which the first 8 lines are composed in iambic pentameter and the last 9th line is composed in iambic hexameter line. This is very important. Last line, iambic hexameter line. Next, it's easy, still longer from form devised by Edmund Spenser. Who introduced this into English literature? Edmund Spenser. For what? For his poem Fairy Queen. Next, iambic hexameter. We are talking about iambic hexameter line is also called Alexandrine. Very, 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 very important, my friends. This last line of Spenserian stanza, this is called iambic hexameter line. This is in technically it can be also considered Alexandrine. So Alexandrine is commonly employed in Spenserian stanza. It refers to iambic hexameter. Enough. Next, rhyme scheme. What is rhyme scheme? Very, very simple. Usually Edmund Spenser connects rhyme scheme. AB, AB, AB. This is one quatrain, and he connects BC, BC, and the last C. You can remember like that. See, AB, AB, and the second quatrain BC, BC, and the last one C. C, like that. So remember the rhyme scheme of the stanza also. Next, who employed after Edmund Spenser? It was also used by Edmund Spenser, used for his book The Fairy Queen, the popular epic after Beowulf. Next, Adonais, P.B. Shelley, The Eve of St. Agnes by John Keats, The Castle of Indolence, James Thomson, The Idylls of the King, Alfred Lord Tennyson. These are the popular poems in which Spenser's stanza was adapted by these writers. They will ask, in which of the following Spenserian stanza is not used? You need to know. Okay, this is something about what is Spenserian stanza. Spenserian stanza refers to a stanza that is composed in 9 lines, out of which the first 8 lines are in iambic pentameter and the last line iambic hexameter. Iambic hexameter line is also called Alexandrine, introduced by Edmund Spenser. Next, and for his poem The Fairy Queen, what is the rhyme scheme? AB, AB, BC, BC, C. And who employed this later? Adnois by P.B. Shelley, Eve of St. Agnes by John Keats, The Castle of Indolence by James Thomson, and Idylls of the King by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Enough. You will get a lot of bits based on this. Okay, and later we also have Rondeau, Villanelle, Triplet, but these were not featured in terms of UGC NET examination, not required to read, but get some idea, know some concepts. Okay, this is what our discussion with regard to our stanza in its forms, my friends. Focus on couplet, focus on terza rhyme, focus on sestina, sestet, focus on rhyme royal, octava rhyme, and Spenserian stanza. Very, very important. And we also, if you want to be, for example, you will have bits like this. What is the rhyme scheme of this stanza? You need to know. For example, they will give you a stanza where you need to identify the rhyme scheme. And the rhyme scheme in the poem The World is Too Much with Us by Wordsworth is, you need to know. So how to identify this rhyme scheme? So far we discussed what? Prosody, as a part of prosody, stanza forms. And third important part is rhyme scheme. So sometimes you will also get bits like what is the rhyme scheme of Shakespearean sonnet, or they will give you one particular poem, what is the rhyme scheme, and how you can answer. And for that I'm talking about a simple topic. This is rhyme scheme and types. What is the rhyme scheme? In English versification, standard rhyme consists of repetition. It's a repetition of the rhyming words of the last stressed vowel. For example, if you take, when you talk about here, run, sun, list, mist. So run A and sun A, list B and mist B. So you need to think, you need to consider that. You need to begin with A. You need to say A, B, B, the rhyme scheme of this. So a repetition of the sounds here, vowel sounds or consonantal sounds. Next, for example, you can take late fate, follow hollow. A repetition of 2 or more similar sounds in a single words line is nothing but rhyme scheme. And it can be internal rhyme scheme, beginning rhyme scheme, end rhyme scheme. Okay, you can observe. So what is beginning rhyme scheme? The rhyming words come at the beginning of a words line. Mad from the glory mystery, glad from the death mystery. Health is wealth, wealth is not health. So health, wealth, rhyming words occurred at the beginning of words lines. Mad, glad, rhyming words occurred at the beginning of words lines. This type of rhyme scheme which you can say beginning. But most of the times, very less number of poets use beginning rhyme scheme, not required. What is the common rhyme scheme used in English literature, English versification, end rhyme scheme? Next, you can see end rhyme scheme. End rhyme scheme, which you can say the rhyming words occur here along, you can say a song, a stream, b dream, b sing, c string, c. So, what is the rhyme scheme of this? A b b c c. Like that, you need to get some idea. This is called end rhyme. Internal rhyme scheme. One couple of times it was asked, who introduced internal rhyme scheme into English literature? P.B. Shelley. Who employed it? So the similar sounds with the two words with similar pronunciation occur in a single words line. That is called internal rhyme scheme. I have taken a poem. If you take a poem called Ode to the West Wind or the Cloud or Ode to Skylark, P.B. Shelley employed internal rhyme scheme. See, I bring fresh shards for the thirsting floods. You can see the two rhyming words shards, floods occurred in a single words line. Seas, streams, shade, light. So this type of using two rhyming words in a single words line is called big and internal rhyme scheme. It was popularly used by rhyme scheme is end rhyme scheme and some peculiar internal rhyme scheme which is popularly used by P.B. Shelley. This you can remember. Okay. Okay, this is what with regard to today's discussion. Subscribe my YouTube channel, like it, share with your friends and colleagues so that and make your doubts and copy your doubts with regard to if you get any doubts and try to post your doubts during our lecture so that I'll be able to give you some kind of idea. My friends, you go on asking me any doubts that you get, and maybe in the next class we are going to talk about another important topic called figurative expressions, figures of speech or figurative language in a proper way. Don't worry, we'll be having a wonderful discussion with regard to that. With regard to figurative expressions, we'll take 2 days duration, 2 classes I'll take, and so that because that is also very important topic, you will get under 2 to 3 bits based on the figurative expressions, and we'll give you both theory and examples, practical examples which were given as part of NTA English examination. I'll be quoting some popular examples and I'll give you a lot. Okay, and that's for today. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe and be a part of my YouTube channel and be a part of our Telegram channel for more videos or maybe any kind of help that you require with regard to English literature. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.